These. I like these. In fact, I really like these. So Philips Fidelio H2XR should be the post-process. Jesus, what am I saying? It's the follow-up, if I'm not mistaken, to the classic chip 95 and 9600s, or it's sold alongside the 9600s. I should have researched this better. Anyway, quick side note, for some reason this goddamn wallpaper engine doesn't want me to use digits, so it's the X11HR, I guess. Whatever, it's right there. It stands right there. Yeah, you will notice that they look all shitty and dirty on the cups. I will get to why that's the case. But yeah, not to spend too much time with ancillary bullshit. Philips Fidelios. Let's get to it. What's in the box? I'm going to tell you what's in the goddamn box. So, inner box, outer box, looks quite nice. And here's how it's presented. Remove it, it's got a little cutout there. And it looks nice once opening up the box. And there you go. What's in the box? That was so easy. I'm kidding. I'm going to get to the cables. I'm going to get to that just now. For the sake of interest, I got these secondhand. I like just, getting secondhand audio stuff. Most people tend to look after their hi-fi equipment, stuff like that. So, most of the time you're lucky with that. Now, let's quickly go to the website, just for the sake of interest. So, it says they're cable, singular, cable. I got two. Now, I don't know if there was a point in time where they did ship with two cables. I don't know. But I got this one included. Now, this one feels like the odd one out. Now, it does say there should be an adapter, included. But it doesn't say screw on or plug in. It actually says plug. And this is screw on adapter, and this is adapter. Now, most people in my situation that has quite a few cans, you'll have a few of these. And, it's nice, it works. But you're starting to think that this isn't the one that should have been in the box. And neither is that screw-on thing, but who cares? I got this in the box. I'm not removing it from the packaging. You can't make me. Because it's all tucked in, all nice, and, I'm not using it, so it might as well be like this. Curly cord. I'm guessing it's also like around about 3 meters, fully extended. Not using it, don't really care. There it is. Now here, the following cable is the one that I do believe should be in the box. How do I know this? Well, they saw it fit to put the name on this cable. So I'm pretty sure this should be the cable in the box. And no screw-in, no goddamn screw-in shit here. So I'm guessing the guy who shipped it to me felt like, oh, let's give him a value add because I shitted away the other plug. I don't really care. It's fine. So this cable... I don't hate this cable. Please understand that I do not hate this cable. It's fine. It's got all metally bits right there. It's braided. A little bit jank. That could be me, the way I'm storing it. And, it feels nice, and it's got this little pushy-in thing. It's the length. God damn it. It's the length. I'm not special in this. I know there's a lot of people that prefer a not 3 Mile Island cable. But, yeah, screw this. Again... Kudos to the feel, given the price again. But screw this cable. Because I've got a solution. See, it was a while back. Honestly, I can't tell. It must have been many, many years that I walked into a music store. Now, please understand, walking into a music store in South Africa is nothing special. It's just a bunch of, albums. And that's pretty much that. And it's all shitty, but I walked in and I saw these. I don't know exactly what prompted me to buy this. I'm saying these because I bought 2 of them. 3.5 to 3.5, and I'm pretty sure my thinking was I was going to be plugging into, I don't know, random ass MP3 player to an audio source. I don't know what my plan was, but it so happens that it just goddamn works. It's small things you do, small things in life can have such a either a pleasant or devastating impact in your future. Jesus, that went dark. And when I got these, I was like, screw that cable. Like that one right there, screw that cable. I got these. And see, look at this. It's beautiful. And it is. If you're gonna go removable cable, which you should do, by the way, just do 3.5. Just do 3.5. Why do anything special? Like, look at this. This works. It's not like 3,000 miles. Like the 1 amp is there, the other amp is here, and I can still sit back, relax, enjoy my music, and without like fucking 3,000 miles of cable dangling off the table or like rolled up on top of the table, and with the pussycat in the house. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend like the cable all hanging and shit because she thinks, oh my god, Jesus Christ, new toy. Like, no. So this works extremely well. Very happy with this. I would recommend. I mean, I bought it in a random store, but I'm pretty sure you can get this for like dirt ass cheap on Amazon. Shit, like I'm not even gonna look it up. Just 3.5 to 3.5. Just get one. And yeah, that's pretty much what's in the box. I didn't get any pouches, carry cases, whatever like that. Doesn't seem like it should come with one. But I was mostly interested in just the cans. I honestly, if the guy said, no cables for you, asshole, I was like, okay, cool, just send me the goddamn cans. Because I want these. And I'm guessing next up would be build. Let's get to it. The build and the feel. These feel special. Honestly, for the price, I'm extremely impressed with how these are just, and I know a lot of people have said this, these are just goddamn tanks. Like, Jesus, it really feels like you need to like put in some effort to break these goddamn things because there's metal being used in the correct places, not cheap ass plastic in others. I'm not gonna do all the old bullshit thing that people like to do, but I'm pretty sure it's gonna be fine. Like, let's go through it. So you've got the headband, like the resty headband. I like that. That works. It just feels like this is not coming off. It's got this old perforated, aerated type of material here. I'm guessing that should work with sweat and stuff like that. I usually don't sweat that much on top of my head, so that's kind of fine. Jesus, this I'm getting to the yoke just now, but god damn, this I don't know. You make it's like concrete from this. You build buildings with this bullshit. Like, Jesus, it's extremely hard, and it's covered in this like extremely tough, leathery shit. I don't know, but yeah, it goes all the way over, and I'm pretty sure should be some audio cable stuff like going through to the other side because obviously it just plugs in there. So somewhere around here, there's a cable going through and just goes in beautifully. Like you can't see it. You wouldn't know it's goddamn there. And that's well done. Left-right indicators. Well done. Looks fine. The cups, they're decent size and they fit all over, completely cover my ears. I don't have the biggest ears ever, but I'm pretty sure this should be fine for everyone. It's deep enough. That works. This metally shit right there, like this is just like a good idea. I don't know how they got to this, but this just feels as premium as all hell. And this is like a sort of a plasticky thing, and this feels cold metally, but I don't know. I don't know. Could be, could not be. I don't know. Again, it's just this thing is not gonna break. There just is no way. You need to actively throw it on the ground to break this shit, and that's really impressive for me. Like, again, I like to handle my headphones not so much dainty like, but like they're built for someone that's way more reckless than I am, with my possessions. As far as the okay, you know what? I brought this up in the beginning. I'm gonna bring it up now. So the pads. God damn the pads. Okay, it's not the softest cushion ever. Once you put it on your head, it doesn't really depress that much. It doesn't curve really to your face. Which it's not a massive negative point, but it could have been a bit, a bit softer. But that's not my problem. It's the material. It's like the suede velour bullshit. Like, I mean, you can see all this like dusty. It's not like the area is extremely dusty. It just accumulates a bunch of bullshit like all over, and then getting it off. You can vacuum it. You can't like pull it off. Like this is just a shitty idea. Like my bad. It feels nice. Like you touch it, it's like this feels all premium. But yeah, use it for a day or two. You'll soon come to notice that this is some asshole shit right here. It doesn't ruin the set, not at all. I mean, it aerates a bit. That I guess that helps. But yeah, like keeping this clean is just an impossible goddamn task. And maybe I'm just being a pussy about it. But yeah, screw this. This just yeah. I'm not about this. But again, there's so many other redeeming damn qualities about these that I'll look past this. Well, I'll definitely look past this. It's definitely not a deal breaker. As far as the fit goes, clamping force could be a bit looser, I guess. But again, you can probably start bending on this shit, but I wouldn't do it. Like, it's fine. It works. Once you have it on for like an hour or so, you start, it starts becoming fine. Really fine. Most of the pressure, in my experience, because I'm got a fat old head, is at the bottom. It tends to settle a bit there. And again, it's not the softest. And it's a bit, I'm guessing it's because it's also secondhand. So I guess it depressed a lot more there over the years or the months. I don't know. The guy wasn't really clear on how old these are specifically. But yeah, there's a bit of pressure there, but nothing that, would, he's almost said cause harm. Nothing that's a deal breaker in any way, shape, or form. I mean, if you look like this and you feel like fucking this, you can get away with a few shitty calls. That's my opinion. So yeah, as far as build goes, like, there's only really one way to call this. Just straight up, just call it a damn tank. Like, it's what it is. Like, god damn it. Yeah. It's well represented on the box, I guess. There we go. Yeah. And I'm happy with this. As far as build and feel goes, I'm not going to keep repeating myself. It works. It's nice. I'm happy with it. So I guess we should get to the most important part. What does it sound like? Let's get to it. Sound. Yeah, the most important part of this, let's call it a review. Okay, so I have a very specific, actually it's kind of a pretty general taste as far as sound, specifics goes. As far as equalization goes, I do EQ. I'll make a video at some point explaining how I EQ, because I do EQ on the solid state as well as the tube amp, separate ones. But I have a fixed one. Yes, I like somewhat of a V shape. That's how I roll. Why am I going to be listening to shit if I'm not going to like it that way? And how the impressiveness of these are to such an extent that these are the ones that I used as the benchmark on the tube amp as far as the EQ goes. So what I did was I put these on my face, I EQ'd so to the point where I like it, and then it stays that way. So any other headphone that I plug into that amp, it's going to stick with that EQ. So it has everything has to compete with these as far as dynamic goes. Because these are obviously dynamic drivers. If you don't know what that is, just go Google it. But it's the most prevalent one you'll find all over. Sound. These have a... I wouldn't call these the most resolving headphones. Again, you're talking about, what, $180? in freedom dollars. But as far as let's just open up this, so I've got a very specific playlist that I like to use. It's called my sound demos, and this is not genre specific. There's just a bunch of shit that I use to compare headphones with each other. Just a mishy mashy bunch of songs and soundtracks and stuff like that. Um, what I'm trying to get at is like depending on your taste in music, if you like heavy metal and rock stuff, there's a subtle high end on these that's a bit more emphasized than the rest. Again, maybe my EQ, but that's my experience. There's a little high end that's a bit more emphasized than the rest. Not so much that it fatigues, my ears, because I like a lot of clarity, like a lot. But I also like stupid like bass. Like I really like my bass, and these just has this beautiful like combination between where the bass does not drown out the highs. The highs are not so prominent that it the bass and the mids like kind of fall to the wayside. So again, if you listen to like metal and stuff like that, especially ones that has a very screamy type of the artist, they might feel a bit like Demolisher works. That works fine. I don't know how to put it. Like, if there's a subtle emphasis on the high end on the song, say for Unsainted, Slipknot, very good song, but it's not doesn't have the most bass that you would. If you're a bass head, you would have liked a little bit more. And these do emphasize that, but the high end does seem a bit more prevalent, prominent, whatever. So again, I'm not like a technical listener or anything like that. I just know what I like. So I'm not going to be using fancy ass words like resolution, timbre, bullshit like that. These just have a serious, nice, sweet spot where, again, I do believe if I put the EQ, like override the EQ, these do seem pretty damn flat. But again, too much mids start sounding tinny to me, so that's why I EQ mostly. It's not too much to fix the headphones. All of them kind of has that harsh mid that I do not prefer myself that much. So that's why mainly EQ. So when I override, they do seem kind of flat, but a more fun type of flat. Like the mids are a bit recessed as well on the phones themselves. So I don't know if this is not for analytical listening. Again, these are just what I feel about it. These are just for having fun, in my opinion. I don't think they market them as production stuff. I wouldn't even use this for production stuff. It's extremely open. This is fun, but where it gets extremely fun, if you like EDM, but more specifically like psytrance, whatever. If you like a slammy bass EDM type like dance music, and these just fucking start shining so hard. Like you can listen to anything. You can listen to classical music, jazz, like even rap works well on these. Just because of that low end slam. It's not so much the amount of bass, but it's got like a nice deep slam in the bass. And it kind of feels like the bass envelops your entire ear. But then again, that's just maybe that's a shitty way of explaining it. But again, there's no real genre that this doesn't work with because vocals are surprisingly well done here. Yeah, the heavy vocally songs works very well because they're very the separation between the highs, the mids, and the lows are extremely well done on these. I do believe these bat way above their price range. It could be that I'm just in love with this shit. I don't know. This just, I'll get to that in the conclusion. Basically, if you like, and again, this is with my EQ. Could be that I'm wrong, but I mean, because I have a fixed EQ, the differences between the headphones start to become apparent because I'm plugging it into the same exact amp as this one. I can hear where they differ. And in my experience, extremely nice highs, not a bit pronounced in the highs, but not so much it would fatigue. But the low end, like this is what I would call a tasty low end. A very fun, energetic low end. Actually, that's a beautiful word. These feel fun and energetic as far as headphones goes. And for the price, you can't really go wrong. I saw on Amazon they retail for like $180. I'm pretty sure that's up to where they initially released. I'm pretty sure these released for like 120, 130. I don't know. I didn't follow it, but they do seem a bit more expensive than I remember them. Would I still? Yeah, I'm gonna get to that in the conclusion. As far as the sound goes, fun, nice low-end bass slam, plenty of detail. Not the most detail of any headphone, but plenty of it. You're actually surprised to the amount of clarity and high end that can come from a dynamic. Because I've listened to quite a few where it's either extremely pronounced or it's not. This just feels like it hit like a nice sweet spot. And that's why this is my benchmark as far as equalization goes on that tube amp. Tube amp. Yeah, the accent is coming through strong. Yeah, fun sounding headphones. You can listen to any genre you want on these. But if you are an EDM dance kind of person, then hell yeah, you should get these. Okay. Yeah, but I mean, at the end of the day, I can keep rambling on about this. The problem is I don't have the technical know-how and vocabulary to truly do these justice. This is just my opinion about it. And let's get to the conclusion right after this. So yeah, that's the sound and conclusion on the way. Let's do it. Power requirements, and then just wrapping this up. These, if I'm not mistaken, let's just double check by the side, but I'm pretty sure it's like 30 ohms. Not that ohms should be the all and end all spec. Yeah, 30 ohms. But an important thing to look at. Some people tend to, look past. Can't you just look at the ohms because when you start doing planar, yeah, the ohms are going to fuck you. You just look at that. No, you should look at the sensitivity as well. 100 dB seems to be like in the middle ground, in my experience, where it's not extremely easy to drive, but it's not really difficult either. So at 30 ohms, 100 dB sensitivity, you can most definitely get away in powering these directly from your PC or say a nice-ish phone. But I'm kind of a snob in that sense where, yeah, I like to amplify all the things. So yeah, you can get away with doing plugging these in directly with your PC, and you'll have a fine experience. I've tested it. I'm bypassing, my equalization, all that stuff. So it wasn't the most pleasant experience. But you can go fairly high in the volume, but I wouldn't recommend that. Just get a cheap ass amp. If you're going to be doing this, like getting these types of audio gear, I would recommend just going for a cheap, not so much cheap. I mean, you can go, I don't know all the amps. Shit Magni 3 plus. I don't know. JDS Labs. I like JDS Labs. I have the Subjective 3 here for the EQ. I don't know. JDS Atom, get that. Doesn't matter. Cheap ass tube amp. Just get something to get the power up just a little bit. Again, 30 ohms, 100 dB sensitivity. You should be fine. I've found that in the MacBooks, the DAC amps on those are a little bit more powerful than you would expect. And they work very well on those. I don't have a Mac, but one of my colleagues do, and I tested it, and it worked very well. And they've got a nice sound signature. I'm not an Apple fan by any stretch of the goddamn imagination. Like, screw that company, but the hardware works. These sounded good on those. But yeah, as far as the conclusion goes, would I recommend these at the going price, which looks to be like $180 on Amazon? It feels they went up. I don't know if there's a supply and demand thing. Maybe I was just under a rock. I could have sworn these retailed new, like when they just came out, for like 120. Maybe inflation is like really like hitting us hard. I don't know. Would I recommend them new? I'm biased. Yeah, I would. The feel, the sound, the overall presence of the goddamn thing. It's just, it's bulky, true, and you're not looking the coolest. They look cool now. Don't misunderstand. They're not pretty, but they look cool. There's a difference between looking cool and looking pretty. They look cool. The moment they're on your goddamn face, they're still looking a little bit less cool. A removable cable, always a must, in my opinion, and just overall the fun, somewhat high-endy, but still nice and bassy, low end on the sound. I would recommend these. If you don't know what to get, and nothing in the Sennheiser or a HiFiMan stack grabs you, which are two very weird options to choose. Like, there's a bunch. Like, I'm not going to start comparing them to anything specifically, mostly because I don't have that much to compare it with. But as far as open-back goes, I don't know. It's kind of hard to go wrong here. It just works. I would recommend these in a heartbeat. If you got the cash, if you're wondering what to spend it on, just do this. You can even play games with this. It sounds perfectly adequate whilst gaming. I prefer to use it, whilst listening to music. But granted, I hop between can to can, so like I've got a few. So yeah, I rarely stick to the same one every single week. These will mostly be plugged into the tube amp, and then I will have like my planars and stuff that's a bit more power intensive connected to the solid state. So these do spend a lot of time on my desk, mainly because they just do not disappoint at all. Yeah, at the beginning of the video, I said I like these. Nothing's changed. Nothing's gonna change. I still like these. Well done, Philips. One or two niggly bits, with these stupid ass material, whatever the fuck you thought that was gonna do. And, cable, that's not really my cup of tea, but who cares? Works. These are well done. I will not get rid of these, and if you're in this price range, don't know what to do, I would strongly recommend these. So yeah, basically that's the conclusion. Hopefully this helped. If it didn't, then my bad, I guess. And guess we'll see you in the next one.